Yo, 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 welcome, welcome, welcome. We are back. The Apologetic Knock, episode 8. Today's topic is going to be skepticism. Before we get started, a little shout out to my boy in the West Coast, Gonya with the fresh shape up, the haircut. Dime Pedro, what's going on?
What's poppin', man? Damn, we finally getting to do this. I think it took like 2 weeks for us to get together.
That little thing called life always gets in the way.
My God, nah, man, happy to be here.
And of
Yep.
course, we got another Tolentino in the building. Felix, Dimelo, what's going on in your neck of the woods?
What up, cuz? My neck of the woods. Our neck of the woods, nigga.
Well,
What's
we live
good?
2 blocks away, but see each other about once a month. So I'll say your neck of the woods.
Yo, what up, P?
What's
Yo,
going on, Felix?
I thought that when I saw the screen, I thought I was looking at what's his name? Weber. Thought it was
Oh,
Weber.
Chris, no, no.
What, Chris Weber? No, oh, it's nice. It's my boy. It's my boy Pedro.
So, audience, if you notice, we're missing a member, Mr. Ramses. Ramses, believe it or not, folks, is taking a step in a different direction. If you are from the Queens, New York area, our brother Ramses is actually running for the 35th seat in the Queens district. So shout out to Ramses.
Shout
You
out,
know,
man.
a lot of people talk about change and what they want to do and things they don't like. Ramses actually has the courage to go out there, put his face out there, his name to it, run for office. So this November, if you're going out and vote, please, if you're in that area, big shout out to Ramses. You may not agree with his views at first, but sit down and talk to him. Ramses will sit with anybody. He might change your mind, folks. And speaking of changing our minds, we're going to get into this next topic, skepticism. Now, we see there's a lot of skepticism going out there. Conspiracies are a big thing. Mainly now, people hear shit and right away their reaction is that's not true. That's bullshit. We see it a lot in media. We see it a lot in politics. We see it a lot in sports. And a lot of it stems from another term of media, which is social media. I think that has an effect on the way people think, what people think is true and not true. But first, let's start off with news. And Pedro, we're going to kick it over to you. In terms of news, where do you get your sources from? What do you think is reliable? And have you ever been victim and fallen a victim of kind of like fake news in your life?
Yeah, I think in the beginning we don't know it's fake news until it comes out, right? It gets exposed as fake news, whether they have messed up on a story and or kind of ran to the story a little too quick and make up their own I guess thought or feeling
Sorry,
about
bro.
it.
Hold on. Producers in my ear. Felix,
What's up?
are you skeptical of the bass, the audio levels on this
I can't help
podcast?
you. This is episode 8
I
already.
do
You already
believe
know
it's
what's
him.
up.
I do
You
believe
already know.
it's
I'm a
coming
little
from his.
skeptical. I think when Pedro talks, for some reason, the bass just goes up.
Is that I'm waiting? Is that I'm doing the quiet storm later,
Oh,
and that's
Got
I'm
you,
trying to
got you,
prepare.
got
I'm
you.
trying to prepare now. So my apologies, my apologies.
So go
But
on, my brother. You were talking about falling victim to fake news.
yeah, man. So it's like once look right now because of social media, man. There's so many fact checkers out there that it's hard to keep track of what's real. What do we believe? The election prior to this one, right, with Donald Trump and everything, bro. I mean, think about it. That was a dude that shot from the hip. He wasn't a politician per se. He was kind of talking, saying it the way it is, and I think that's why he kind of resonated with so many people because it was no like the fluff, right? There was no fluff to it. He admitted it. Remember in the debate, he goes, "Yo, yeah, I took advantage of all those tax loopholes, man, that everybody got." That was like a shock to everybody of like, wow, there is, there's another level to this, right? There's these politicians that have been lying to us for all these years, and now there's this guy here going out telling it how it is. We have so many options to where we get our news. It really is crazy. I tend to kind of try to listen to everything and then kind of make my own opinion. Nitpick if it's Fox News, I'll listen to Fox News, see what they're saying. I'll listen to MSNBC, see what they're saying. And then in between there are some bloggers out there, some what would they call them? Like those news warriors, that try to put out what they think is the truth. But I think nowadays it's up to you to kind of do your homework, man. You can't like just rely on the Fox News, on the MSNBC. You got to listen to it all. It's a lot and it's overwhelming, but I think that's the way to go about it now.
And that's the thing. Definitely, you brought up Trump. He's the one that definitely coined the whole fake news thing. That wasn't a hashtag until it came out of his mouth. And when you're right, when you talk about news, you're either going to get the far right or the far left. And I don't think I did that correctly. I think it should have been far right, far left, but whatever.
It's good. It's the opposite. They get it.
It's a mirror. It's a mirror.
It's a mirror.
So that's the thing. Like, you don't know when you get a source. You hear something. It's funny. You could turn on the news. You hear a story about migrants. Migrants is a very popular thing, and they'll make it seem on Fox like there's a war. Like people are bum rushing the border and killing agents and getting through in the hundreds of thousands. You turn on MSNBC and oh my God, human rights. How could they treat people like this? And in reality, it's somewhere in the middle. It's a mixed bag. There
Mm-hmm.
is a sense of, hey, maybe there should be clarity in terms of immigration and how we control our borders. And at the same time, we can't treat people like shit either. So there's a fine balance of, hey, we have to put a cap on the amount of people coming in. And also, hey, let's not make it seem like we're suckers here either. And anybody could just
Right.
walk right through, that's where we got to find the middle ground. Felix, you and I and P, we grew up in the days where we had the reliable people like uh, uh, Walter Cronkite and Peter Jennings and people like that. You'll turn on ABC News, and it's like you will watch the news and be like, "All right, I trust that guy. I believe him." Like now, for you, where do you get your news from? That you like? Okay, I could believe this when you read it off your phone or watch it on television or your computer or whatnot.
You want to hear something crazy? Listening to you guys, some points that you guys were making. Most of the time, and I guess it has to do with the time that we don't have. I'm always on social media, going through Facebook, uh, TikTok, or whatever, and you can get from a murder that happened. I mean, there could be an earthquake in wherever, and you already have it on your phone. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're all guilty with that, where we go to our phones, like we don't go and turn on, like we don't get up in the morning, cup of coffee, and we don't have a newspaper like we did before. Like I used to like to read the newspaper. Um, but like for example, something crazy happened the other day where there was a rally in it was uptown somewhere. It was with the Palestinians or something like that. And I saw a video from somebody in the force where they were showing what was going on, and it did come out in the news. I didn't watch the news, but I did see the video circulating in social media, and it was funny how they cut it up so it looked like the cops were the aggressors. You know what I'm saying? And again, it's like Pedro said, like you guys were saying, we have to look for the news. We have to, be our own. Because if we start, listening, if we start, again, we start looking through social media and just going by that, which is, I think, for myself, is one of the main sources I use. When there's an earthquake or when there's a riot, or it could be even the weather. Like sometimes I want to see if it's, and I go to my social media or whatever, and right away I don't even go to the news, and I like watching the news. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, we got to stop that. We got to be more like, if we want accurate news, we got to search for it, Google it. I mean, we have the resources, but when we're using like stuff like Facebook and stuff like that, a lot of people tend to edit shit, and then, they change the narrative of whatever it is you want to find out or whatever's going on. You know what I'm saying?
And it
And
kind of
that
sucks
that's
real quick, Evo. And it kind of sucks, right? Because when you think about it, the newspapers, CNN, Fox News, this is all for profit, right? They want eyes. They want the ratings. So a lot of times when you have anything, there's a business, right? There's a business plan. So you're gonna sell outrage. You're gonna sell the worst of the worst because you're gonna have eyeballs coming to it. And a lot of
100%.
times, that's not accurate, right? The news won't be accurate. So we have to go to the Facebooks, we have to go to the, surprisingly enough, TikToks and stuff like that, because now we have us with these phones. We're able now to be kind of news anchors and show the truth, right? A lot of times we'll have the videos. Those places, they'll edit it. If you're
Yep.
Fox News, you're gonna edit it to make it look, to make it look a certain way. If you're MSNBC, you're gonna make it look a certain way. And it sucks that we have to rely on social media. And even then, like you said, Felix, sometimes on social media it'll be edited to fit whatever narrative, I guess, that platform or that person that posted it is pushing. But again, man, when news is for profit, it's hysteria. They want to sell hysteria. They want eyes. So it's hard to trust.
You want to hear something funny? Even with something as simple as the weather, how they hype it up. I mean, look at the podcast is gonna come out in a couple of days. Today is Monday. Tomorrow there's supposed to be a storm.
A
Talking
huge storm here, yeah.
about a huge storm. There's no huge storm. Like me again. I'm a little bit older than you guys. Yeah, you guys could crack in your jokes now. But I'm a
I was
little
gonna
older.
save mine for later, but no. All right.
You
I was
know,
gonna
Say
save
just a little, but all right, cool.
so like I know what a blizzard is. I've been through. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now they like right away they closed the schools. They did this remote. And it's like crazy. It's supposed to start like overnight, and then it's supposed to stick. We're supposed to get like 6 to 8 inches. And me knowing we're not gonna
And
get
that used to mean a good time, the 6 to 8 inches, right?
Oh,
Oh,
God.
it's a family show.
But the thing is, to kind of touch base, piggyback on a lot of things you guys are saying. First of all, yes, news is for profit now. Before, media had a responsibility to give you the truth and filter out the bullshit. Now it's, this is Friends versus Martin in the 90s. Who's going to get better ratings? So I'm going to cater to the progressives. I'm going to cater to the right wingers. So I'm going to put the news, I'm going to put the fear in the heart of middle America. Like, look at these urban neighborhoods. Look at this. And for the urban neighborhoods, look how better off they have it. Look how we're being impoverished and put in a hole in a box. And it's all BS. There's a middle ground. And with that middle ground, Felix, you said even things like weather are manipulated. Not to localize the podcast because we hate doing that. We definitely want to touch base all over, especially with our brother P 3,000 miles away. But the thing is, with this so-called storm that's coming, the current mayor of New York City is Eric Adams. He doesn't want to be caught with egg on his face because, Felix, as you remember, several years back, de Blasio
Yeah,
wasn't prepared for a storm, and the city was just
a
shit
disaster.
for like 2 weeks. He wasn't prepared. So Adams and everyone else moving forward, they rather be like, you know what, let's just shut everything down and I'll save face. So I rather be like, hey, why did you close it? And instead of having everything open and it's a big shitstorm out there. So again, it's all about saving face, politics, the narrative. And they put out there what they really want you to put out there. Do you know why I know this storm is real, unlike other storms? Just the way the city is preparing. Just because of that. Because you hear other storms like, it's going to be big. We're gonna get... But they bullshit you. Like everything's still open, whatever. They closed this joint, they closed everything down 24 hours prior to the storm. So that means they know something that we don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But they're not even telling us to be prepared, which they should. They should encourage people on the news. Hey, if you haven't gotten groceries ever, head to the supermarket, get what you need to get. But you see, that's the problem with news. They don't do what they used to do in the past, being responsible and being informative. Now, like you said, P, it's a ratings war. It's who can we get attention to? Who could we garnish? Who's the right audience? And to go back to that, we have an election going on this year, the presidential election. And one of the big things that's a big issue, Felix touched base on it, is social media. And now you got AI. You see AI generating like people's voices. You see they had something a couple of weeks ago, which was controversial. They used Joe Biden's voice. And he was like advocating something which he had no idea was going. Joe Biden has no idea what's going on most of the time, but he didn't lend his support or his voice for this, and that's the danger that we're facing moving forward. Like a lot of people, like you said, Felix, it's convenience, it's laziness. We're not gonna go. You know what? I can't trust what I see on my feed that my third cousin posted. I should just go, go to the New York Times. Well, New York Times is now political too. They're far left as well. But I can't go to a reliable source and find out the true answer. It's right there. It's in my palm. Oh, shit. This guy said what about who? Damn, this person's no good. It's too convenient. It's very dangerous. And again, with the election coming up, who knows what's going on? What's going to happen? How social media and AI are going to affect it? It affected the 2016 election. Um, I mean, again, I personally, I'll be honest, not that I'm advocating people not to vote, but it's like, wh- who do we have here? It's like, you know, P,
No,
is there a
you had,
candidate P of these two guys? That you're like, yeah, that's my
no,
guy.
not at all. There is no slam dunk here. Like whoever,
And if they try
I-
to dunk it, either one of
they,
them will throw their back out.
exactly. So I mean, I think not to get super political or whatever, but like the Democratic Party definitely are fucking things up the way they're going about it because they should have just let this dude, hey man, go to sleep.
That's it.
Don't worry about it. Let's get somebody, you know what I'm saying? Get somebody younger. Let's get somebody with some sense, somebody that can stay awake, someone that's in tune with what's going on in the world.
Someone that
But
doesn't say malarkey in 2024.
yeah, exactly. And because of this whole way of doing it, well, we can't do that now because then if he goes down, well, then it has to be Kamala Harris because that's how it goes. Well, Kamala Harris don't want to do it anyway. Where has she been for the
She's not
past 4 years
likable.
anyway? And she's
And
not
she's not
likable.
likable. Yeah.
So nobody wants to come in and go, I'm out. Nah, I'm cool. Because Kamala could easily come out and be like, you know what? I'm gonna spend time with my family. Blah blah blah. I'm honored. Blah blah blah. But I'm not gonna run to leave it open for for something for somebody good that could possibly
For your guy,
come out. Well, Gavin,
Gavin Newsom. I mean, he
they're
could
pushing
win
him.
because
He could. He could.
there's a lot of fucked up shit in California, but I think if let's say I'm an undecided voter and I'm watching him on TV and I'm watching Trump babble, who you think is going to sway me? The young, good-looking intellectual guy is, not the guy babbling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then Trump, I mean, there's a lot that he can say about Newsom because California's fucked, bro. Like
Yeah.
it's bad. It's gotten ruined. I mean, it's been ruined. I mean, the homeless, the taxes, the infrastructure here is and it's a beautiful state, beautiful weather. It could
Felix,
be.
at least the barbers are on point, right?
Yes, they are.
Took me 20 years to find one.
They are.
Man, listen, that was rough.
He's
You
not
didn't want
right.
to. Hey, you don't want to see. You don't. You don't want to see the first 5 years of me out here searching for a barber. I might as well have no head. It was rough.
In the
It was.
struggle, Pedro.
It was a struggle, bro. It was a struggle. But I'm gonna tell you what. You know what's one thing that like really really scares me? Is that AI, bro.
Yeah.
That AI now, the things that they could do to like, bro. If you, God forbid, whatever, don't happen. But let's say you're convicted of a crime, you're convicted of a murder or something like that, bro. You could have video and they could just put your face on there, your voice.
That's it. Mm-hmm.
Like there's all these things going on, like, and we're just seeing like the stuff that they're willing to show us, like the things that I'm sure there's like more stuff, man, that's like way more advanced, like those movies that we watched back in the days, right? Like we thought, oh, that's sci-fi. It's here.
But
It's here now.
You want to hear something crazy, Pedro? You're talking about regular guys who have softwares at home and shit.
Regular dudes, yeah.
What the government could do.
Oh,
Imagine what
If-
they could do. We're talking
if-
to guys on their phones, on apps, just fucking around with voices and music and stuff like that and changing it around. Imagine what like the government could do.
if they want you guilty, you're gonna be guilty.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Enough said. That's it. If they want you guilty, I mean, I know this is like tinfoil hat stuff, but it is real, man. Like this is.
I don't think it's tinfoil hat stuff, bro. I think it's very scary. I think they have to regulate it the same way. You see what that monster social media, they didn't put a cap on it. And now they're
There's no
trying to
regulation.
regulate it. But it's too late. Like TikTok is running rampant, IG, Facebook already fucked up one election. You already
Yeah.
saw that. And if they don't control AIs, like you said, a lot of things could be manipulated. I mean, now I got a great example now, like facial scanning. Everyone forgets password. Everything is a facial scan now. They could do some bullshit that they could manipulate financial records, anything.
Oh, but
Like
that's the
like
new war. It's not about
Mhm.
bombs anymore. It's
Yeah,
not about that. Like
it's a
nine
cyber
11
war.
happened and all that. And I mean that touched home and everybody got obviously felt that what we would see decades and decades and decades stuff like that happening overseas. But that's it. That's not the game anymore. The game, like you said, the power grid, your banking system. It's gonna cripple. That's the war now is to cripple the United States because if they went ahead and hacked into the stock market, banking system, I mean, we're done, bro. We're done. When was the last time you used cash? I don't even use cash. Like the last time, like maybe I'll have like for tip at the car wash or something like that. Like I'll have a couple of bucks, but like to have cash, everything is the card, debit card,
Yeah,
credit
no,
card.
nobody fucks with cash no more, man.
You know what I'm saying? So if they get their hands on that, what do you? I mean, can you imagine that you see all
Game
zeros in your
over.
bank account? Yeah,
Game
it's
over.
it's game over, man. So there's a lot of things that people aren't paying attention to. Uh, you know, uh, they're throwing Taylor Swift in our face and all that, and
Uh,
keeping us.
I'm glad you wanted. I'm glad you brought that up. One interesting thing I'm seeing now. It's crazy. People are really scared of this little pop singer. They really feel like she could influence the election coming up, which is crazy. A pop singer. Um, the Republican Party is thinks there's a whole controversy. Her
It's not
relationship with
crazy.
with Kelsey. They think there's a lot of young voters that are deciding not to vote at all. So the fear is if she goes out there and says I support Grandpa Joe, that there'll be a swarm of young progressives go sway the vote. And now you see Trump pandering to her.
Yeah,
He went on social media yesterday. He was saying that he's such a big fan of hers and how he helped her. He mentioned something helping her with her first album or some shit or whatever. And
but do you
really,
realize what does
like
that have to do? But what
this is
does
how
that have
dumb
to
our
do?
society is.
It is because here you
Yes.
have number one. Uh, uh, um, what the hell was he? He was a reality show guy. Won the presidential seat. Okay, that's what he was.
Yeah.
He was in a reality show, and we got a guy that was on TV firing people for a living, president of the United States. So believe it all now. After that, all that could
Mhm.
happen. And
Well, you
at
know
this
what's
point,
funny? The guy from Ukraine,
he
Zelensky, was
he
a
he
comedian.
was he was a comedian.
He was a comedian. So
And,
this is
and but
going on around the world. It's not just here.
and you could say Ronald Reagan, he was an actor
He was an
and
actor.
all this and that.
Well,
But
Felix is old enough to watch some of his movies. Well, were you a big Hollywood Reagan fan or more of his presidency?
no, Felix was more of a Kennedy guy back in the day.
Yeah, I was very.
Pedro, I feel like you're reading my mind, and I'm gonna say something, and I'm gonna kick it over to Felix. In American society, I say especially World War II. Everybody was so gung ho. Pearl Harbor, yeah, let's go, let's fight for our country. Up to the 50s, everybody stood by the country. I think the skepticism began in the U.S. with the Kennedy assassination because no one bought it. And even to this day, somebody may not even know the whole Kennedy situation. I'm supposed to
Hmm.
believe a shitty shooter in the military was hundreds of feet away in the third floor, and he fired 4 bullets, caught the president 3 times, and a magic bullet went around the president's throat, hit a guy in the wrist, hit the same guy
Connolly.
in the thigh.
Hmm.
Yeah, Senator Connolly. Like that's when the American public started to sway, and then in the '60s they needed a voice. So they went to his brother. They went to RFK. They're like, okay, this is somebody we could believe in. Assassinated. So ever since then, it goes down in history. At the time Felix was born, Nixon. We had Nixon with Watergate. The 80s with Oliver North, that controversy. The 90s, we had Clinton. There's so much shit that now it's harder to kind of put that toothpaste back in the tube because the public is now skeptical. And now that we have so many sources of media, so called media, in the palm of our hands, it's harder now. And I feel like now we don't have that voice like that RFK, that Martin
No.
Luther King, somebody we could trust. Like, oh, when that person speaks, oh, okay, they're reliable. I believe in them. Felix, is there anyone out there? I mean, we touched base on the candidates, and I'm sorry we didn't get your point of view, which candidate you're leaning to, if you're leaning towards anybody. But is there anybody in media or politics that you trust that when you hear them talk, you're like, all right, I could count on that guy. I believe that guy.
Honestly, like as far as like media and everything, I don't. You know, you start listening to guys who actually speak up, and right away they're shut down. Right away they can't speak their mind, or they're crazy, or they're this, and a lot of the stuff that they are saying, um, is true. I mean, again, they don't get in depth with it because, again, right away these I guess these big corporations with money or whatever, the media, they shut them down.
Yeah.
They shut them down quick, you know. So I mean, as far as a reliable source, like off the top of my head, I mean, there's so much shit going on with everything, with freaking politics, racism, you know, the migrants. Like sometimes I don't even pay mind to anything. You know, I work all day and just do what I
Yeah.
need to do because, bro, it's so much. Aside from all the sources that you have, it's so overwhelming for you to be like concentrating on if this is true, if this is not. And you got people, there's always somebody, oh, this is a conspiracy, this is that, this is the today I was just going through TikTok, and they were talking about Taylor Swift, that, oh, that this that's crazy because it took her 13 hours to get on this, and it was her 13th this and and I'm like, bro,
No.
who,
Don't spoil it, bro. We're gonna get into
yo,
that.
Yeah.
who
We're
that,
gonna get into the number 13 later.
me,
Yeah.
like, I don't have that time to be like, look, I work, I get on social media, I Google stuff, I watch the little bit of sports that I watch, and basically I like to watch the news like 4 o'clock, 4:30, and then that's it. I keep it. I actually listen to the first maybe 10 minutes of the news, because especially here in New York, it's sad. It's all this bad stuff that's going on. So I just listen to the local stuff and I just keep it moving, bro, because I don't have that type of time.
No, I do the same. I mean, if like to your point, Felix, if you pay attention to all that stuff, you're gonna drive yourself crazy. I mean, you got your own life to live, you got your family, you got your finances, there's 24 hours in the day. Half of it you're working, another 8 doing what you got to do, and hopefully you get some shut eye there for a couple hours. But um, I'm gonna say something as far as like the election and all that coming up. I really wish they would stop these debates and do more I was watching Bobby Kennedy Jr. on Joe Rogan, and they were having, and he's
He's a
running.
guy a lot of people trust
A lot
when
of
he
people
speaks.
trust, but when you have these long form interviews or conversations, you get a lot out of the person, and you, the viewer, the potential voter, can get a lot of information. It's not like an answer that you gotta, it's not an answer you gotta give in 60 seconds or less, because here comes a commercial, and you can either be relatable to this guy, really see what makes him tick, really see what he's talking about. And if there was any type of controversy, okay, explain yourself, or what I'm saying, like explain that whatever controversy you
But
had, what I'm saying, in long form, instead of these stupid debates. I hate watching that stuff, man.
see,
You're not gonna get anything out of me on that.
real quick, that you're saying about the debates. Like a lot of, I know me myself, I'm not a political guy, but I sometimes tune in because sometimes you watch because you want to see what their policies or whatever. But sometimes you feel like it's an episode of Your Mama because
Yo,
is
ma,
like
yeah,
all they're doing is like bringing each other's dirt up.
Your son's a cokehead.
Your
Ugh.
brother, okay, you're this, you're that, and you're like, guys, we're not here for that. We're
we're not
here.
here for that.
You know what I'm saying? And then it just kills it because
Or
you
if
know,
there's a follow up, or sometimes it's like,
yeah,
yo, okay, hold on, there's a follow up to that. Let me
Wrong.
defend myself on that. No, we gotta go. We
Wrong.
gotta go. You know what I
Wrong.
mean?
Are you gonna let me talk? Can I get my turn? That's what the debate is.
That's it. Who's that? Who's the? There's another guy. Vivek.
Oh,
Vivek. The he's
didn't he
like the
step?
young
I
guy.
thought he stepped away. No,
Did
because
he?
I know Kennedy's running independent. Yeah, because he was
I
running
think he's the.
Republican. He stepped
Yeah.
away. So
Oh, he
now it's just
did.
yeah. So now it's just Nikki Haley, Trump,
Okay.
Biden, and
Yeah.
Kennedy. Um,
Look, man.
which again, that doesn't leave us with many promising options there. But Felix, you said something. Sometimes it's just so overwhelming, and there's so much that you're just like, "Eff it, I'm not gonna watch anything." I think that's a part of the plan too, though. Like let's overwhelm them. Let's put that fear in them so
Oh
they
yeah.
either keep watching us or they get distracted from the real news.
Right.
And what we always, us fellas, and I know you guys, my whole life, what we like to get away with to distract us from all the BS is sports. We always could watch a game, get our mind off a hard day, or just pure entertainment, or just to connect. We used to connect. Yo, P, you watching the game? Yo, I'm gonna head to your house to watch the Super Bowl, and your father puts on the Caribbean series. Felix, I can't even count the times that I'm
Yeah.
gonna say, "Yo, I'm gonna come over. We're gonna watch the game." But now there's skepticism in sports. We're just coming off one of the greatest Super Bowls ever, hands down. Um, and now there's this controversy. There's a guy that went on a podcast. I don't remember the gentleman's name at the moment, and I promise this is just water in this cup, so that's not why I don't remember. But he had this controversy. He said, "Oh, the Chiefs are going to win because of the number 13." Felix touched base on it earlier. And the other members of the podcast were like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Well, it's Super Bowl 58. What's 5 plus 8? 13. If the Kansas City Chiefs win this game, how many wins will they have in total? 13. The name of the team they're playing against, 49ers, 4 plus 9,
fine, yeah.
13.
How
Uh,
many hours it took Taylor Swift to
Taylor
get?
Swift to get from Japan to Vegas, 13. And then he tricked them at the end and he was like, "How many games has Taylor Swift attended this year?" So they were all like 13. He was like, "No, actually 12. But when she makes it to the Super Bowl on Sunday, 13." And it takes away from like such a great game that people are going on social media saying that a great game was rigged. We are in the midst of an incredible, like, we're so fortunate. Um, we haven't seen like a Michael Jordan, quote unquote, in like 20 something years. No knock on Tom Brady. And the only reason why I'm not putting Tom Grady, oh boy, Tom Brady in that boat, like an MJ or whatever, even though he does have one more ring than Mike, is because his titles were kind of spread, you know? He went through like a 10-year gap that he didn't win. Then he won like the next three or four, like in another 10 years or whatnot. But Patrick Mahomes, this kid is phenomenal. He has had 6 full seasons. And in those 6 seasons, he has made it all the way to the AFC Championship game. And he's made it to 4 Super Bowls and won 3. And instead of us being like, "Wow, this may be the greatest player we ever seen," we're worried about how many hours it took Taylor Swift to get on a plane. Um, Skepticism, boys. Is it ruining sports for you guys now?
Yes. It's to your point. It's a Super Bowl. I don't think. I mean, I was watching it closely. Every single time anything happened with Kansas City, they panned over to her. I mean, yes, did they pan over to Jay-Z, Beyonce,
Don't forget LeBron. Felix is going to see
Malone,
LeBron.
LeBron, and everybody. But it was like, man, they were hell bent, man, on any little thing that Casey did. A timeout. Here's Taylor. Oh, water break. Here's Taylor. No, coming back from a commercial. Here's Taylor. And listen, guys, listen. My mother does not watch any sports. And this lady this morning asked me, did the team with the girl's boyfriend win? So that tells you right now that the NFL loved it because that's exactly what they wanted, right? Is to have elderly Dominican ladies freaking watching the Super Bowl because of Taylor Swift, right?
Young 12-year-old girls.
Yeah, young 12-year-old girl, but just the hysteria of it, right? It's no longer the game anymore. It's just and like there's a bunch of prop bets out there. How many times they want to show her? Are they gonna kiss when they see each other? Are they gonna they're gonna hug first? Are they gonna kiss and then hug? Is it gonna be a peck? Is it gonna be tongue in there? Like, come on, bro. I mean, to your point, one of the best Super Bowls I've ever seen, and it's overshadowed. It's overshadowed by all this other stuff that has nothing to do with the game.
You could imagine he would have gotten the winning touchdown.
She would have ran on the field.
Bro, I'm pretty sure that they were trying to set up at least one. I mean, it looked like they were trying to set up one or two plays for him. Because after what he did to the coach, I don't know why they let him play. I don't
Are
know
you
why.
serious?
I know somebody made a phone call, said, you better put him in.
No. AJ Brown from Philly, he tweeted, if that was me, I'd be kicked out of the league right now if I did that to my coach. And if you notice, remember Mahomes was arguing with the other receiver, number 4. I forget his name. Wide open. So he's telling him, bro, you keep throwing to your boy because you guys want to set up this narrative. I'm wide open in the middle right here.
And let me tell you something. Again, man, we are definitely here in the apologetic. Now, we're not apologetic about things, but we're smart enough to know not to touch on certain topics. But we got to get in the racial element of this. If that was Nicole Hartman that bumped Andy Reid, this would be the main story, not the Super Bowl. But we got two white guys arguing, and they laughed it off like, "Oh, I was telling him how much I love him or whatever."
No.
No, he was telling him, "Yo, you fat fuck, I got
Put
one
me in.
catch for 1 yard. Put me in the
Right.
fucking game, motherfucker."
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but if you're at a certain complexion, you can't get away with that shit. You can't. At the end of the day, you can't.
Well, look, what last week was the Grammys?
Yeah,
Was it last week?
yeah,
You guys heard that Jay-Z speech? I mean, he kind of hit it in the head.
yeah.
This chick got 33 Grammys, the most Grammys ever, and doesn't win album of the year. And now the poor girl's gonna go do country.
Yeah, she's gonna come out with a country single. Yeah, Beyonce. Yeah, that's the
She's
rumor.
gonna do a country. Yeah, that's the rumor to like at least get a whiff of it. At least get a whiff of best album. But Taylor
But
Swift,
I think I'm the only one in the minority of this, man. I'm fucking tired of Jay-Z and Kanye and all these people fucking crying over Beyonce getting recognition. Beyonce gets plenty of fucking recognition. Stop it. Stop.
yeah, but
Stop.
that's come on, bro.
And the funny
But
thing is
that's
about a lot of these artists, they don't care about the Grammy unless they win it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
all right. Well, what is water?
Jay-Z don't care if he wins best. He said it before. I don't care if I win best
No.
rap album. That don't represent my culture, my community, whatever. And now he's like pushing for his wife to get it. Come on,
But
dude.
sometimes there's things that are like so outrageous that you gotta shine a light on it.
Dude,
Like
she didn't have an album with the number of hours it took her to fly somewhere. She's not gonna win.
well, then they gotta focus on the number 15, I guess, and see and see what that means.
Felix,
How many letters are her name?
Has skepticism taken the joy of sports away from you?
I'm getting a headache just talking about it. I feel like in sports now, like I like I'm a big basketball guy, baseball and basketball, football, but I feel like they just want to make everything seem like it's one way and uh, like for certain players it's certain things and for others it's not, and then it's like they've changed even the way the rules, they've changed them just to, I guess, make it entertaining. And now it's like to me basketball now is like boxing. And some guy said it on some podcast. It's entertainment. So who's to say that they're not doing certain things and not calling certain calls just because, not even because you're a superstar anymore, not even because you're, one of the top guys in the league. It's just because either they want hold on,
Oh boy, there's that age kicking in. Oh man.
like they just want certain teams. I'm not even going to mention their name. They just want to put them like on
Say
a
the Lakers. Say the Lakers. Say it.
the Lakers.
Say
They
it. There
put
you
them
go.
on a team because they won the interleague whatever, and they suck. And I'm going to give you a perfect example. A team will play the Lakers. They'll blow them out. They have better numbers. You'll have somebody like Kawhi have better numbers than LeBron, and all the highlights are towards LeBron, towards this, towards that, and they lose the game, and you're like, "What the fuck happened?" Who?
The coach's fault.
I exactly. I thought, and oh, that's another thing. Everybody's getting blamed for this. It's not their fault. They're losing because they're. He's. I'm like, bro, it's very for me. Watching basketball is very, very, very frustrating because it's everything they want to make it. Now there's a record for everything. Now everything is the 39-year-old this and the. I'm like, so it's just to me it's very. I don't like to watch basketball just because it looks like a video game. That's besides the point. But it's just them, the commentators, the way they just make the game seem. It seems fake because
Well,
you're watching them play and watching certain plays and watching certain fouls, and you're like, what the hell are they talking about? Like
I
me,
mean, look,
he's texting and be like, yo, what the hell just happened? You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
it's no secret, man, that listen, the NBA, they all have their business plan. The NBA already kind of knows. All right, okay. Remember, guys, when it was the Kobe and LeBron with the
Yeah, the
puppets
commercials.
and
Yeah.
everything, because they were pushing it, because that was the huge moneymaker. They shot themselves in the foot by doing that because that exposed them, right? That exposed them to the world to be like, oh, this is what you want. It's not the two best teams. You want this collision course. And then they got ruined by Dwight Howard and the Magic, and it went to crap. So yeah, everybody wants the high ratings. Everybody wants the market, the marketing dollars, to make this thing. When Detroit won that one year, they ruined it for the NBA. They didn't want that. They didn't want the Pistons in there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it is messed up that they're pushing teams, they're pushing players. You could clearly see some calls that are like, "Come on, bro, that was not a foul," or "That was a foul and it was a non-call," or "How come this dude never fouls out? This dude's running over people like a running back.
Or you
No
could
offensive fouls ever.
be the Lakers and go to the line 233
Free
more
throws,
free throws than
yeah,
anybody.
Than their opponents. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That's
And
crazy.
it's a push.
to go along with that stat, um, they're one of the least likely teams to drive and go to the paint. So how are they getting all these foul calls? Is one thing. Another thing, with trying to push certain teams, it's just making the game very unwatchable. Felix used the term video game. I remember playing 2K with people. Pedro, we go as far back as playing NBA Live
NBA
together.
Live.
And it'll be like, shoot the three for three. And that's what the game is now. You see guys passing up layups
But look
by
at
themselves
because of the
to shoot a
analytics,
three.
Evil. Everyone's into the analytics now. What the
Let
analytics
me let me
tells
tell you
you.
something about analytics with
That's
something like
garbage.
a layup. I was watching the Thunder play. Who were they playing last night? Ugh, slipping my mind.
Age.
Probably the age, but
El
they were
tinte.
playing,
El tinte
and
seeped
this
in the
guy,
bloodstream.
Thort, he has the ball. He's literally under the basket. He's by himself, and keep in mind the Thunder are winning this game. He's under the basket. He looks up. I'm like, all right, this guy's gonna shoot a layup. He's gonna dunk it. What does he do? He
Passes
kicks
it
it
up.
back out for a three, for a contested three, and it's just beyond frustrating. Analytics. How are you gonna tell me that the guy with a hand in his face from the 3-point line has a better percentage than the guy under the hoop by himself?
How
No,
many
and that's the
fast breaks?
problem.
How many
they're
fast breaks
playing.
have you seen that they pull up for three?
They pull up for three. It's ridiculous. The traveling, they don't call traveling no more.
No.
When it is a travel call, there's like this outrage from the announcers, like to Felix's point, where how could they call that on him? Like everybody's such a homer. You look at a guy like Kevin Harlan on TNT. He used to be so enjoyable, and now he's become a character because
He
he
has
knows
to.
people love his
Mm,
enthusiasm or whatnot. Now
yeah.
it's unwatchable. Oh, LeBron, he's dribbling the ball up the court. Like, come
But
on,
let me
dude.
ask you
Like,
guys this. Let me ask you guys this. Especially, I think I see this way more with basketball. Do you guys think because of the stupid money that these guys are making? I mean, I'm talking about for NBA standards, a bum is making $5 million a year.
mm-hmm.
So back in the days, right? You needed to work for that second contract or
If
that
you
third
even
contract
got
because
one.
if you even got one. So we saw a lot of dudes with heart. We saw the hustle. We saw like the grind. We saw like these games are like exciting to watch because like people's always said, college basketball back then was like way better because these kids are really going for it, right? Because there's that second level they want to hit the league. Do you guys think because of the stupid money these guys are making, half of these guys don't really care because that first contract you set,
They don't
you
give a
pretty much
fuck.
set for life if you play it right.
They don't care, bro. These guys, they're playing, and you see it in the games. Yo, there's no competitive, and then you see them, pounding each,
Mm-hmm.
talking.
Yeah.
Yo, gonna, they're probably talking about where they're going after, or when I go to your city or that. Bro, I don't
Yeah.
want. Me as a fan, I don't want to see that. Go to your locker room, you know, pound each other, whatever you want to do, but do it behind closed doors because the game has even lost that. Because you don't have to be a dick if you lose or be a sore loser. But nobody wants to see that there's a game that you could have won by whatever, and then you chuck up again the video game. You chuck up the three, you missed it, and instead of being frustrated or whatever, just going to your locker to come back to the next game and play better, you over in the middle of the court pounding one of the other players like, "Yo, what we're gonna do after this?" They don't care. Those guys. Let me tell you something. Those guys don't
I,
give.
I think in twofold, in terms of guys not hiding the lack of effort, and all being about the money. I think AAU has ruined the NBA. I think when you back in the days, and I don't want to sound like get off my lawn, but back in the days, like when you had like the McDonald's high school all star game, which no one even mentions anymore, it was
That used to
like,
be
yo,
big, man. That used to be
that used to be
big.
huge because it was like, yo, this is the best guy from Chicago. Yo, this is the best guy from New York. This is the best guy from LA.
Evo, but even the draft, I remember like in high school, I would know first pick to 30th pick. I knew each guy. I'm like, oh yeah, that's the dude from this school. That's the dude from that school. I watch it now. I'll know the top three, maybe top five picks. The rest
Hmm.
of the guys, I'm like, who are these kids?
Well, that's the thing. I think the European aspect of it
Yeah,
has affected our knowledge of who we know coming out of the
and they're
draft.
catching
But
up, and they're catching up
oh,
because
they surpass. I
they
mean,
surpass. Yeah,
I'll tell you why they surpass. I want Felix right now to tell me who he thinks the top five players in the NBA are. Just off the top of your head. Doesn't have to be for sure. Just who's the five best guys at the top of your head?
Luca, um,
Foreign,
the Joker,
foreign.
um, 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 um
You
KD,
want American? All right.
uh,
You want to put Giannis in there?
Giannis,
Foreign,
Embiid,
foreign.
Bede.
Shea Gildas Alexandra, foreign.
Canada.
You know, they've surpassed us. It's hard to put a like if they had a world versus U.S. game.
Bro, my
Yeah,
first wasn't even an American fucking basketball player.
Yeah, that's what's happened. I think it's great globally financially for the
yeah.
NBA, but for a lot of fans, I mean, Luka Doncic. phenomenal player, leads the NBA in scoring right now. And I'll tell you something he said.
No,
When he
it's
came in
LeBron.
the league,
It
LeBron.
was
Oh,
easy.
sorry,
yeah,
sorry.
he said, they were like, "Oh, you worried about the NBA game?" He was like, "This game is going to be easy to score here." This guy played professional ball when he was 14 in Europe, but you know why? Europe, believe it or not, what Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen in the '92 Olympics when they harassed Tony Kukoc, they were, because you're soft. They don't play defense in Europe. Now it's the opposite.
Mm,
European players come here to the U.S. and it's like, you guys don't play no defense. Like it's a
yeah,
joke. You got guys on one night, Embiid scored 70, Cat scored 62, and just these guys like to tell you how much they don't care about the game. Minnesota, who's like fighting for the number one seed right now, lost to Charlotte because they were trying to get the ball to Cat so he could score 70 because they
yeah,
found out Embiid scored 70.
yeah.
It's come on, man. That's not enjoyable as a fan. We don't want to see that shit. And I was getting back to my AAU point. These guys now they're arguing about the new rules that you can't win certain awards because you have to play at
Certain amount
least
of games.
65 games. And their bodies are breaking down now. How? These guys are in better shape. They eat better. They got better trainers. How are they getting hurt? I think one way they're getting hurt is they're having these kids travel and play fucking ball like from the age of 10. Like once they sense you're a prospect, you're traveling, and
Right.
that kills the competition, Felix, because unless you're like Kobe or Mike, you're not gonna have that same desire to beat your so-called rival because he's not a rival anymore. He's your friend. I know this guy since I was 12 years old.
Yo,
I'm not gonna want to cut his heart out. I want to beat him, but it's not the same. I'm not gonna play him with the same passion.
I was listening to a podcast, Vlad TV the other day, and they were talking about they had Telfair on it, and he was talking about that he came out on the Slam magazine with LeBron James. He goes, "Yo, me
Mhm.
and LeBron James have known each other since we were like 11 years old."
Yep.
I'm like, and imagine we're talking about them back then. Imagine guys now who are
Yeah.
coming, who date like everybody's boys. Everybody knows each other, and this it's taken a lot. It's taken a lot away from the
Which
game,
feeds
man.
into the skepticism, right? Because now you're like, well, you guys are boys. You're not really trying to go at them the way you should. I mean, again, Kobe, I guess, was like the last real dude that,
He's the last guy that went for your heart. He's the last guy
look at what he did to Powell. Remember, he ran him over, and that's his dude,
in the
his
Olympics.
teammate,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
his like legit like one of his close friends.
yeah. He's friends
And
with the family. He's goddaughter to one of his kids.
he ran right through that dude, man. Like, and what? This is what I'm here for. So
Yeah, we lost Felix there. We'll get him back. But yeah,
yeah.
man, that level of competition, that fire, it's gone, bro. Like
But
people
the
don't
money though,
have.
Evo, bro, I
I get
mean
it, man.
that
I get
money,
it, but
it's a lot of money now. These cats are making NBA. Bro, Gilbert Arenas, I hear him talk all the time, like, when in his little podcast and stuff like that, when he be talking, and
I cannot stand that dude.
I love him.
That
I
dude,
I love him, man, because
the way this guy
no, yeah, he talks a lot
disrespect
of shit. He's a
players before
troller.
him.
He trolls.
Yeah, but
He
the thing
trolls.
the thing is like when you say statements like Michael Jordan didn't play defense and shit like that, like you just sound ignorant, bro.
Yeah, but again with the news, right? We gotta filter out. We gotta filter out what's
But here's the problem that you and I could filter it out. You and
oh no,
I
but the youth,
seen
right,
this,
right,
yeah.
right.
But people that never seen him was like, damn, why they hype this guy up so much? Gilbert's right, the Hibachi's right.
But that's gonna happen. But I think that's gonna happen anyways, Evo, because
Mm,
look, meaning when I say that is like,
Yeah.
bro, think about it, right? The eras. It was dude from the Celtics. I'm having a brain
Bird,
fart. No, from
Havlicek, Russell.
Russell. On you.
You could name like 50 Celtics.
I know, right? On and on. But my point is like every era, he was the GOAT. Then it's Magic Johnson, he was the GOAT. Larry Bird, he was the so it's like all these eras. There's gonna come a point in time, like we were there, right? We're Jordan kids, man. It's like it is what it is. I love LeBron. I think what he's doing is phenomenal. But deep in my, I'm a Jordan kid, man, because I saw it. I saw it.
But that's the thing. This is what kind of bothers me sometimes with guys our age. You watch both of them. How could there be a discussion? There shouldn't be a discussion.
No,
And one great quote, and I think it came from Michael Jordan himself, unless
because
it
of
was AI
errors.
generated, who knows?
Yeah, I know,
He
right?
said LeBron James is universally respected, but when Michael Jordan played, he was feared.
Yeah.
And that's how you could tell the level of greatness in a guy. And these were grown men used to shake in their boots when
Oh
they
yeah.
knew he was coming into their town. And
Oh
with
yeah.
LeBron, it's like, yo, that's an icon. That's the man. But yo, that's my boy. Yo, we're gonna probably look at Draymond Green is the perfect example. This is a guy who called him the B word, kicked him
Kicked
in
him
the
in the
groin,
nuts.
lost an NBA Finals because of his interaction with him, and they're business partners together. Well, what does that tell you? That as a fan, and again, I don't knock the hustle, man. I mean, come on, you gotta. I mean, the sports window. This is the only field where at 40 you're over the hill. You know what I'm saying? I fuck that. At 30 you're over. 35 you're over the hill.
It's
So you
Jay Z
gotta
signing.
take advantage.
It's Jay Z signing Nas. You get what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
you won that battle,
Mm.
but you know he's winning the war because at the end you kind of working for him now, right? No,
Yeah,
to your
yeah. I mean, I get it. You got to capitalize in your short
yeah,
career span. You got to take advantage, but at the same time, as a fan, is like, do I really think this guy's gonna go after that guy with the same killer
no,
instinct? The same? Nah, man. It takes
no.
away from, and the game is unwatchable right now. It's
It
really
is
difficult. The only I would say there's like a couple of nice stories. I think the Thunder,
OKC.
Emergence of the Thunder is a great
Yep,
story. I think the New York Knicks, the NBA is loving it
loving
because
it.
they've been thirsty for a great Knicks team, and the trades the Knicks have made, the way the Knicks
Listen,
are making moves. I think there's only two things that could stop the New York Knicks from the NBA Finals. One is the Boston Celtics, and the other thing is health.
health.
I think if they can get Randall, OG, even Brunson has taken his
Brunson's a
lumps
little.
here and there. If they could find a way to get everybody in a rhythm, healthy,
Yeah,
they're dangerous, bro.
yeah, they
They're
are.
they're dangerous. And if they get home court advantage for a couple of those series, good luck going in that building and knocking those guys out.
No,
Um,
I'm 100% with you on that.
I'm sure you are as a Knicks fan.
Hey man,
'Cause you know I'm
I
definitely
know,
not being biased. I'm not a Knicks fan.
I know, I know.
I'm one
No,
of the
that's
rare.
why you saying that I'm like, all right,
Yeah,
it
dude.
is true,
I've been watching their games. There's energy in that
and they're
building.
kind of
There's
fun to
something.
watch, man. Like
They are
the
fun. Oh,
the basketball there is yes, Brunson's doing his thing, bro. I was
he's
highly skeptical when we got that dude. I'm like, bro, this guy is small. I really haven't seen a lot of Maverick games, so I really don't know too much about him. But he hit the ground running when he came with us, man. The dude, he's a star, man. He's a
let
star.
me let me tell you something about how amazing he is. And this may be a shot in the dark, and I'm glad this is recorded. But if this happens, and this is me being skeptical, I'm not skeptical because I guess because it's the topic of the podcast, I use the word. This is me taking a shot in the dark here. Do not be surprised if Luca is in a Knick uniform next year. And the reason why I say that is there's a lot of kind of inner turmoil. You know, you got
Kyrie,
Cuban traded, sold the team.
so the team. Kyrie,
Um, Dealing with Kyrie, who knows? I don't know what their relationship is like. I haven't heard much about
I
it.
don't think he likes playing with him. To be honest with you.
I mean, their record is kind of blah with each other, you know? And here's the thing. If you pay attention to the moves that the Knicks made, they didn't give up any first round
No first
pieces.
rounders. That's right.
So if there's a lot of rumors and inner turmoil that if the Mavericks have kind of like a one round exit and it's really bad, the playoff, he may ask for a trade. And he would love a reunion with Brunson because that was his guy. That when
That
he
was
was
his
with
guy.
Brunson, they went to the Western Conference
Yeah, they
Finals.
did. And he had a hell of
So
a
if
year.
if the Knicks could get a package together where they include maybe one or two young players and some draft picks, do not be shocked. I know this is crazy, shot in the
No,
dark, but don't be shocked if
can
he's
you
in a Knick
can you
uniform.
imagine that dude in the Big Apple?
Oh,
He's
I mean,
marketable. I mean, what's he
very
doing?
marketable.
And
He's
and you
he's
know and you know he speaks Spanish.
muy bien, muy bien.
Muy bien.
Yeah,
So
and he's
you
he's hilarious.
he's
He's
hilarious.
good with the
Yeah.
media. He's a
Ah,
fucking big crybaby, but
yeah, he
what big
is.
NBA star isn't? You know
Nowadays,
what I
yeah,
mean?
they all
They're
they
all
all are.
fucking crybabies.
They all
Um,
are.
we're gonna wrap up the sports for one last thing, because we're gonna stick to skepticism.
Yeah. Well, I'm a little
And
skeptical. Felix went to get his medication, folks. He, you know,
the problem is he had all his medications ready, but he didn't put the memory pill with the rest of the
that's the
medication.
one that he
And then he's
needed,
trying to. He's
and
like, "Which one did I forget to take?"
right.
But the MLB season's about to approach. That's one of the things I love about the Super Bowl, by the way,
Yeah,
is when I
baseball's
know
right
when
around the
it's over.
corner.
Spring training, yeah,
Yeah.
man. Football's like my number three. But the MLB season's on the way. There's a lot of skepticism of the powerhouse out in your area, the West Coast, the Dodgers. A lot of controversy the way they
Yeah.
put together these contracts with the
Mm-hmm.
deferred payments. Um, then you have a lot of controversy and skepticism with the team in your new hometown, San Diego. How did they hand out these contracts and couldn't even pay the players? It is puzzling. And then their owner dies, which again, like what was going on there?
Yeah.
Does MLB not keep track of what's going on? And the new season's coming up. Just a wild shot in the dark. Well, before you do your pick, in a hometown thing, in your favorite team, how do you see the off-season moves, and where do you see the Mets this season?
Um, you know, as lifelong Met fans, man, we live in the cloud of disappointment. We want them to make the big moves, which they have, you know, in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I think this offseason was kind of, they picked up a lot of young guys. We got a lot of young talent. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think much proven though, so it's not proven commodity. It's just kind of shot in the dark hope, right, that these guys pan out. I really wish that they would have came to some type of resolution with Pete, have him signed at least.
Well, you know, when it comes to Pete, I really I'm in the minority here. I think they're doing the right thing. I think coming off the season he came off, which his batting average was I believe it was 219. It was just below 220.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he has that fire in his gut. Like I'm better than
Mm-hmm.
this. I'm not a 300 guy, but I know I can hit
Mm-hmm.
fucking 250 along with my 40 bombs.
Well, the
And
beginning of that year, he was killing it.
yeah,
The beginning of
yeah.
last year, those first 30 games or
I
whatnot.
think, but I think Pete, he's one of the guys. What I like about him, he's kind of old school in a way. He won't make excuses. I
No
think he was battling a couple of injuries there,
injuries.
and then he
Yeah,
got beamed early in the season. He had to miss
right.
some games, but I think they're gonna surprise folks. I really do. I don't think I'm not here to say they're gonna be the Texas Rangers of last year and win the World Series,
Yeah.
but I think people are kind of down with the moves, but I trust David Stearns. I mean, he ran the Milwaukee organization a certain way, which was basically um, great, strong bullpens and a lot of depth. And I think this team, in the past, we were too top heavy. And I think you
Mm-hmm.
saw that last year where we relied on Scherzer and Verlander and other guys, and
Mm-hmm.
they dealt with injuries, and we didn't have a secure bullpen. I think this guy is very bright. And I think we're going to surprise people. I think we're going to be kind of in that 85 to 90 game window, sneak in there, wild card spot. And once you're in, you never know what
No,
happens.
once
You
you're in,
never
you're
know.
in. Yeah, yeah. I
But
mean,
I think we're going to surprise people. But in terms of the way the Dodgers did things, I mean, as a Met fan, the way Cohen was slapped with now they call it the Cohen tax. Don't you think that again, there's where skepticism comes in
mm-hmm.
sports? Why is there not any discussion of why when the Dodgers do something? Oh,
It's okay.
it's brilliant. What a move
Mm-hmm.
by and when the Mets do something because people don't like Cohen, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you can't do that. Let's slap a tax. Doesn't that affect you as a fan watching the
Absolutely.
game?
Absolutely. It's it's again another sports organization, MLB, pushing a historical team. to be the
with their
best
biggest star.
with their biggest star in one of the biggest markets in LA.
Uh-huh.
I mean, if the Yankees do it, is great. But
Yeah,
somehow, if the Mets do it, we're the little brothers, right? So it's like
we're the
uh,
Clippers.
we're the Clippers.
Yeah.
Good, that's a good one. Yeah, we're the Clippers of the city.
Or as your boy Gilbert Arenas calls it, the hoes.
The
The hoes
the,
of the league.
the
The
corner
bottom
boys.
feeders.
No, we're the corner boys. So yeah, I mean, bro, it's disgusting the way that happened with the Dodgers, man. Like I'm still. I mean, listen, I've all I've ever heard with these guys because San Diego and the
You
Dodgers.
got the little rivalry.
It's
Yeah.
the rivalry, man, and everyone is sick to their stomach about it. The way that whole thing went down. The whole MLB should be sick of it. Every team should be sick because now you're gonna, all these copycats are gonna try and do that, and now you can't, right?
And the next collective bargaining agreement,
They're gonna
that's
shut that
got to
down.
be in there. That's got to be in there
They're gonna
because
shut that down. They're
you
gonna shut that
can't
down.
manipulate the system like that. They could go out and get whoever they want now
Mm-hmm.
because there's no financial punishment for this. And
Well, it's
the
like you're using a
Mets,
credit card. It's like
yeah,
you're using a credit card. I'll pay it later. I want it
exactly.
now. I'll pay it later.
And you saw like Otani has like a clause like if the same management group isn't involved, he could opt
It's
out whenever
voided.
he
He could
wants.
opt
What?
out. Yeah,
What the fuck? What kind of contract
that's a
is that?
lot of power, man. But again,
Yeah, it's
listen, MLB loves it when the Dodgers win. They love it when the Red Sox are in it. They love it when the Yankees are in it.
but their goal is L.A., New York, Yankees, Dodger World Series.
There we go.
And before
Thank
we
you.
get into MLB, we touched on the NBA. We're gonna go back on this, so it's gonna be on tape. So, well, tape that shows how old I am, but it's gonna be in the cloud,
In the cloud.
like Rocky. Where?
I hope so, man. If Luca, I hope. Hey,
Well, no,
that'd be.
not my prediction. I want your prediction. Who is your NBA Finals matchup, and who is the NBA champion? We're gonna go back to this come playoff time, see how
Ooh,
accurate.
oof. The Clippers are looking really good on the West. I like the Clippers representing the West. East, man. I'm Nick biased. I would love the Knicks, man, to get in there. I don't think we're all the way ready yet. If we could make a push, hey, I'm for it. But I don't think we're. I think we're a year away, and a couple of players like a Luka. We need a dude that could get buckets on his own to just alleviate Brunson a little bit, man. Because that kid does it all.
Yeah. So
I see
knocks him
Clippers. I see Clippers. Boston.
out? All
I
right.
see Clippers. Boston.
I don't know if you took my sheet or whatever.
Oh, is that
But
what you got?
I was aiming the same way.
Because
Something about the
Because
Clippers this
Philly,
year, man.
I don't think Philly's real. I don't.
No, well,
Philly,
they're dead on arrival now. No
yeah,
Embiid,
no Embiid,
and even
right.
if he comes back, he's going to be a shell of himself.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I had Clippers Boston as my prediction, but there's something about Harden that scares me in the postseason.
When he's
And
motivated.
yeah, but again, this guy just like shrinks all
Oh,
the
you mean
time.
the other way? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I don't know,
He,
man.
yeah.
There's something about that big monster out there, and he's the kind of guy that doesn't catch a lot of fans. And again, man, I don't care if it's controversial. I say it because he's not black, he's not an American. But Nikola Jokic, there's something about him that he looks like he doesn't care. He looks like he's like whatever, but he does, man.
But he
And,
does.
and I just think there's a drive in him to repeat.
Mm.
I see Denver over Boston in the finals.
Denver,
I see
Denver,
Denver back to
Boston,
back.
back
I
to
see
back.
Denver back to back. I there's just something about Jokic that you don't see it because this guy just is practice over. I want to go look at my horses or whatever. Like,
Right.
and people are like, where's the cool shiny superstar? You know what I mean? Like,
He's a Tim Duncan. He's a.
he's
It's his game is
well, he got more
boring.
flash. Yeah, he got more flash in his game than Duncan for me.
Yeah, but think about it. The guy has a 4-inch vertical. He's
Well,
a
that's
great
when he's
passer.
standing on something.
When he's a great passer, great shooter. Yeah, I'm not mad at that either. I'm not mad at that either. I think
And a
the
dark
Clipper.
horse. Ugh.
Now OKC.
No, man.
OKC.
Something about that Heat team, bro. I know they
Oh,
suck right
he
now. But I don't know. Something about playoff. I know
playoff
losing
Jimmy.
Terry Rozier may be real tough on them.
Yeah.
But there's something about those guys, man. They just flip a switch every postseason, and they're so annoying. I
Speaking of the
hate Heat
Heat, not
culture.
not not to get into another topic, but big ups to the Heat for what they did for Spoke.
Oh yeah, the prenup, baby.
Man.
As soon as that divorce was over, he got that.
Oh man. The Godfather hooked them up, huh?
Yeah, well, Pat's been married to the same woman for many years, so I'm
But he's had
surprised he
many
made that
but
move.
he's
He loves this
I'm
guy,
sure
man.
I'm no, but I'm sure Pat has dipped his toe
Oh,
in a lot. So he
listen, that
that's
slick
what I'm
hair and
saying.
those
Like he's
that slick hair and those shiny suits.
oh come on, hey honey, late meeting today.
Hanging out
I'm
with
gonna be
Magic in
I'm gonna be
LA.
late. I'm gonna be late.
Yeah, man, he was holding a different type of clipboard.
Yeah,
But
man. Yo, that was the assist of the year, bro. That was
he hooked the brother up.
oh my god. That chick thought, hey man, that chick thought I'm getting this much. No, you're getting this much.
Yo,
You
what a
ain't getting
feeling,
no.
huh? She probably got like fucking 3 million in that divorce. Then my man signed $100 million contract.
Oh
Oof.
my god.
And they waited for that. Is the ink dry? Ah,
Oh man,
there you
yeah,
go.
bro. That's a yo. You, hey man, you gotta love. Hey man, you gotta love an organization like that, man. That's awesome.
He culture,
That's
baby.
some
He
dope shit.
culture.
Oh, no doubt. That is he culture.
Yeah, for sure. All right, one last prediction for you, and this one is it's fluid. It's fluid
It's
because
fluid. It's fluid.
you got is way early. Guys are still got their fucking Christmas weight on, but MLB, who do you have going to the series? It's very early. You're allowed to change it, All-Star break and all that. But who do you see going to the dance?
Well, listen, National League, you gotta go Dodgers. I mean,
Hmm.
look at what they got. I mean, you gotta on paper, you gotta think they're gonna make a tremendous run. They got firepower up the ass. So I'm taking National League. I'm taking Dodgers. American League. Damn, bro. Going out on a limb, Houston.
It's not really on the limb.
Not really a limb, but because
They fucking
they've been
dominated the
going,
last
they've been
8 years or
dominating.
so. That
I say
bullpen,
Houston.
man, they got Hater now.
Bullpen, that bullpen is nasty. So
It's tough.
I go Dodgers Astros.
All right, and they love each other. Those two teams.
Mm-hmm.
MLB wouldn't mind that showdown.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Uh,
What
you
you
know,
got?
I'm gonna again. This could definitely change because of a lot happened. MLB is a sport that I think the most changes happen
Oh yeah.
throughout the year because it's such a marathon.
Mm-hmm.
But to start
Injuries,
off,
health, yeah.
yeah, man. To start off, I think they got their first taste of experience. They got beat up pretty bad. I think they learned from it. I think Baltimore comes out of the American League.
Mm.
The National League, man, is tough, bro. Like, it's really hard. And I almost went with Seattle in the American League as well. Something about Julio Rodriguez. I think he's
He's coming
amazing,
into
but
his own.
I think that star is going to take off even further
Mm-hmm.
this year. But I think Baltimore pitching staff looks a lot better this year.
Yeah.
Again, they're a team. I think they won 100 or was like 98 games last year, so I think they'll be primed
Yeah.
and ready. The National League is tough for me, man. It's so easy to say the Dodgers, but the Dodgers remind me so much of the Dallas Cowboys. Like they got
Mm.
all the shiny parts, and then they
All
always
right.
fucking fold come playoff
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Um, I hate to say this as a Met fan, but I could see Philly again. I could see Philly.
Mm.
They have a bitter taste in their mouth the way they blew that
Yeah.
series with
Yeah, they
Arizona.
did. Yeah.
They're gonna have a full, healthy Bryce this year,
Right.
knowing his role is first base now. Now that Reese
Yeah,
Hoskins
we
is
gotta go to
gone,
right. Mm-hmm.
they got all the parts, and they're smart. They know. See, Atlanta. I think Atlanta kind of fires a lot of bullets in the regular season, and they
They
don't come in with
fizzle.
that same tenacity.
They
They're like the
fizzle.
Dodgers.
Because
Every
they were
year,
it.
100 games, and they fizzle in the postseason. But
Mm-hmm.
I could see a Philly Baltimore kind of that Beltway kind of
Hmm.
I-95 World
Yeah.
Series.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I could see it, but again, a lot's going to change.
Oh, a lot's gonna change.
Um, And
Health, you got it's a lot of games. It's a
yeah, we're
long
gonna
season.
revisit this. We're gonna revisit
Yeah,
this come All Star
yeah,
break. But uh, I'm skeptical of my picks. We're
yeah.
skeptical about a lot of things, but one
Oh
thing we're
yeah,
not skeptical about is the Apologetic Knock podcast.
absolutely.
P, sign off. Tell me what you guys say to these folks.
Oh man, listen, guys. When it comes to being skeptical and skepticism, we need to make our own choices. We need to go ahead and hear both sides, all sides, man, and come to your own conclusion. And do your own homework. Be your own investigative reporter. When it comes to getting news, when it comes to politics and stuff like that, to hopefully better this country. Other than that, man, social media, the technology that we have nowadays at our fingertips, uh, it comes with responsibility. It comes with responsibility, and we definitely gotta have the adults in the room to manage that responsibility. But other than that, man, happy to knock out another episode. I know it was long awaited. We tried to link up for a while, but to your point, life, guys, life happens. It is what it is, man. But we're here. The Apologetic Knock. Minus the old man. I think what happened was, bro, because you guys are 3 hours ahead of me. It's his bed. It's 7 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock over there. It's his
It's
bedtime.
either bedtime or he's
That's what
trying to
happened
catch that early breakfast at Denny's. It's
at
one of those
Denny's.
two.
But yeah, man, happy to be here. More and more and more content for you guys. More and more episodes coming. Evil, take us out.
Yeah, for sure, man. We definitely got more on the way. I'm definitely excited for what's coming. There's definitely going to be more consistency, and I'm not saying that just to say it. We're gonna definitely get on par with what we want to do. We got a vision of where we want to take this,
Yep.
and we're taking it far, man. In terms of skepticism, I know it sucks. We don't want to make you getting news or sources a project, but you kind of got to turn it into a project like high school, like back in the days. Like, be careful where you get your sources from. Do research on your actual sources. If you're just getting your news from social media, you're in trouble, man, because there's a
Yep.
lot of bullshit out there, and people always out there trying to change the narrative. But we ain't trying to change your mind, folks. We're just trying to entertain you.
That's
So
it.
thank you again for joining the Apologetic Knock. We'll see you next time. The Queen's Kids, we out, folks.